Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 18th of March. Now, this week we've got quite a bit of news hitting the wires this week. Today is quite a quiet day by comparison. We don't have any sort of three-star news announcements today, but roll on to Wednesday and we've got the Fed interest rate decision. We've also got yet another Brexit vote in the Commons in the UK Parliament, just in case you were missing those. Thursday, we've got the Swiss interest rate decision, the Great British Pound interest rate decision, and the start of the EU summit as well. So there's quite a bit there to keep the markets on their toes. So let's take a look at some of the markets here that we're keeping an eye on in the trading room. Now, if we come and take a look at the US indices, first of all, last week we were looking for the markets here to bounce off this sort of 25,500 level, as we can see here. Very significant price point that I sort of discussed last week. The market's now sort of came back, it retested 25,500 and has rejected these lows. It's sort of pushing up sort of quite nicely now. So we could look at this from the higher time frame perspective and actually sort of see that, well, perhaps we're going to start to sort of see movements up here towards the all-time highs up there towards that sort of 27,000. If we come down the time frames and start to look at how the market may well react this week, then we can start to look for potential opportunities on this. Now, if we come down to the daily time frame, you can see 25,500 was tested sort of multiple times here with sort of a number of sort of signals, rejection sort of signals happening around this level. Now the market sort of moved up to the first price point that we had for target levels, which was 25,000 sort of 850. You can see that level in here that this market has tested multiple times. Now price is kind of sitting just around that sort of price point. So from a trading perspective, we could be looking at opportunities if this market breaks above this and pushes higher. We've got 26,000 sort of 200 as the next sort of target level, and then beyond that, well, pretty much nothing in the way up to 27,000. Now, when we're looking at the US sort of Dow Jones, we can also come and take a look at the S&Ps. Now, the S&Ps here is a little bit more, let's say, sort of advanced than the Dow at this moment in time in the context of these trends. So whereas the Dow has sort of retraced back, it's sort of in retrospect is sort of like a little bit further behind than the S&Ps. The S&Ps have actually sort of like pushed above the pushed back up to its recent high. So you can see that here on the S&Ps, the once this sort of 2830 level up here gets broken, the market's then in a clean run up towards this sort of 2880 area, and then beyond that up towards the old highs as well. So again, both of these markets looking particularly bullish. The Dow looking a little bit more of the lagger than the leader in this scenario, but both following suit. Now, if we come and take a look at our commodities that we've been looking at as well, so gold, yes, last week we were looking for opportunities around this sort of 1.300 level. If I'd open this up on the weekly, you can remember that 1.300, very significant price point on gold. We were initially just waiting for the market to decide whether this was going to form resistance or support. We've seen that last week the market broke through 1.300, and it's looking like this macro picture trend is now starting to play out. So if this continues, we need to see a move up towards 1.350 at least, you know, for the market to put in a new high on the weekly chart. So come down the time frames, you can see the sort of movements that we've had around sort of price action. You know, the market sort of come back to retest 1.300, and now again it's sort of the bias is still certainly looking bullish to the long side. Now, we had some trades on gold last week. and we'll be again looking for more trades on gold once the markets can clear some of these sort of intraday levels on the 4-hour time frame, and we'll be looking for trades up to the next sort of levels and trading these windows of opportunity to the long side. So 1.306 is the level that we established last week. We're still looking again for this level to be a significant price point this week. So above 1.306 opens us up into another sort of profit window that we can sort of look for trading opportunities. Now, looking at commodities this week, another market that we could look to is oil. Now, oil from a higher time frame perspective, let's have a look at the weekly chart here. We can see that here on the market has got pretty much nothing in the way for retracement back up to that sort of $60 level. If we take a look at this on the daily, you can see that we've got a nice trend formed here on the daily chart. Very nice sort of geometry too, and the market's sort of pulling back in towards this sort of 58 level, which has been a level of previous resistance, likely to become a bit of support here too. In the context of an uptrend, that sort of represents a potential sort of buying opportunity to look for moves up here towards that sort of $60 level. So as far as Forex markets are concerned, where is the best opportunities this week? Well, Forex markets have been particularly choppy for quite some time now, but one of the constants has been the weakness in the Japanese yen. So it makes sense to come and take a look at the yen markets. One of the best ones that I'm seeing at the moment is Euro yen. This is one of my favorites at the moment. And the reason being is that we've got some strength in the euro over sort of recent weeks, and you can see that's formed this intraday uptrends as we've got here. And here on the 4-hour time frame, we've got a very nice level that's formed here around 126.5. So a breakout above 126.5 is what we're looking for. And you will see that there's initially we're looking for moves up to 127 and then beyond that too. So we've got a nice sort of potential sort of window here. I mark that in there, that around that 127. We've got a nice window there of potential move and potential sort of opportunities on that break. Now, if we come down to the weekly chart, you'll see why I've got 127 marked in. So 127 on euro yen is a fairly sort of well tested price level on the weekly chart. So that would be our first target. That's the reason why we've got that in there as a first target level, but that's still plenty of distance for opportunities for us here in the trading room. So there's a few markets there that we're keeping a close eye on for trading opportunities this week. I certainly hope it helps, and I look forward to speaking to you on the update on Wednesday. Speak to you then. Bye for now.